There's a man in your neighborhood worth $8 million. You've seen him at the grocery store. Unremarkable car, normal clothes, quiet. While everyone else is posting their wins online, he's been building an empire in complete darkness. And the strangest part? He learned this strategy from a book written 500 years ago. In 1513, Niccolo Machiavelli wrote something that bankers still whisper about. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. He wasn't just talking about politics. He was revealing the eternal law of power. Strength without stealth is suicide. Today, I'm going to show you 7 principles the ultra-wealthy use to accumulate fortunes without ever appearing wealthy. No Lamborghinis, no flexing, no attention, just silent surgical wealth accumulation. Because here's what most people get wrong. The moment you look rich, you become a target. And targets don't compound, they decay. So let's enter the protocol. Picture 2 men. Both make $200,000 a year. The first one upgrades everything. New car, bigger house, luxury watches. His Instagram glows. His friends envy him. He looks successful. He feels successful. But here's what you don't see. Every month he's spending $17,000 just to maintain the image. The car payment alone is $1,200. The mortgage, $4,000. The lifestyle creep is eating him alive. The second man keeps driving his 2015 Toyota, lives in the same modest neighborhood, wears the same $40 jeans. To his co-workers, he looks like he's stuck. To his family, he looks careful. To the world, he's invisible. Fast forward 10 years. Man number 1 is still making $200,000, maybe $250 if he's lucky, but his lifestyle costs him $180,000 a year to maintain. He's trapped in what Machiavelli would call the performance prison. He can't downgrade without admitting failure. He can't save without sacrificing image. He's rich in appearance, poor in options. Man number 2, he's worth $3.2 million. His investments throw off $120,000 a year in passive income. He could quit tomorrow and maintain his lifestyle indefinitely. He doesn't look wealthy. He is wealthy. Every dollar spent on display is a soldier you'll never command. The Medici family understood this perfectly. They dressed like merchants while controlling the papacy. Rothschild bankers lived modestly while financing empires. Jeff Bezos drove a Honda Accord when Amazon was worth billions. Warren Buffett still lives in the house he bought in 1958 for $31,000. Why? Because camouflage is capital preservation. When you look average, 3 things happen. First, envy sleeps. Nobody resents you, nobody plots against you, nobody tries to take what you have because they don't know you have it. Second, opportunity approaches. People underestimate you. They let their guard down, they offer you deals they'd never offer someone who looks successful. Third, your money compounds in silence. Every dollar you don't waste on performance is a dollar that multiplies in darkness. The protocol here is simple. Spend to live well, not to prove anything. Your car should be reliable, not remarkable. Your home should be comfortable, not a statement. Your clothes should fit, not announce. Your watch should tell time, not tell stories. Because the moment you start performing wealth, you stop building it. Right now, there's someone watching this who just got a raise. Maybe it's $5,000 more a year. Maybe it's $20,000. And your first instinct, the one society programmed into you, is to upgrade. Upgrade the car. Better apartment. New watch. Nicer dinners, bigger vacations. Resist, that's not wealth, that's wealth theater. And fortune punishes actors while rewarding architects. Here's what the raise really represents. It's 500 extra soldiers every month. $500 that could be deployed into index funds, real estate or businesses that generate income while you sleep. But instead, most people turn those soldiers into servants. They spend them on depreciating assets, temporary pleasures, and social performance. The wealthy do the opposite. When their income rises, their lifestyle stays flat. The gap between what they earn and what they spend becomes the engine of their empire. Now here's where most people fail. They master the first principle, live below their means, save diligently, and then they just let money sit. They think saving is the finish line. It's not. It's the starting line. Machiavelli wrote that fortune is like a river. When calm, men build dams and channels. When it floods, it destroys everything. Translation: money at rest is money under attack. Inflation is a 3% annual tax on every dollar sitting still, but that's just the visible tax. There's an invisible one too. Opportunity cost. Every dollar in your checking account is a dollar not earning returns. Not compounding, not multiplying. Let me show you what this looks like in real numbers. You have $10,000 sitting in a checking account, earning 0.01% interest. After 1 year, you have $10,001. Congratulations. You earned enough to buy a coffee. But if you put that same $10,000 into an S&P 500 index fund, averaging 10% annual returns, after 1 year you'd have $11,000. After 10 years, you'd have $25,000. After 30 years, you'd have $174,000. Same money, different deployment, different life. The poor save, the wealthy circulate. Your money needs a mission within 72 hours of arrival. Not 73, not a week from now, 72 hours. Because the longer money sits, the more excuses you invent to spend it. Here's how the protocol works. Paycheck arrives, immediate deployment. Before you pay rent, before you buy groceries, before you do anything, you deploy. 20% to index funds like Vanguard or Fidelity. 10% to high-yield savings for emergency reserve only. 5% to skill acquisition, books, courses, tools that make you more valuable in the market. The rest covers essentials and reasonable lifestyle. Notice what's missing. Entertainment budget, validation spending, display purchases. If it doesn't grow your capability or your capital, it doesn't belong in the protocol. The Venetian merchants understood this. They didn't hoard gold. They sent it on ships across dangerous seas. Half might sink in storms or pirate raids, but the survivors returned with 10 times the investment. That's not gambling. That's calculated risk. That's deployment. Modern equivalent? Index funds, real estate, businesses, anything that works while you sleep. Action beats hoarding, always. Here's the test. Right now, how much money is sitting in your checking account doing nothing? If it's more than 1 month of expenses, you're failing the velocity principle. Set up automatic transfers the day you get paid. Automate. Deploy. Forget. Your wealth should move like blood. Constantly circulating, never pooling. Blood that pools becomes a clot. Money that pools becomes a target. Which brings me to the third law. And this one makes people uncomfortable because it requires you to betray a deeply programmed instinct. Quick question. When was the last time you posted about money online? A win, a purchase, a goal, a milestone. Every time you do, you're handing leverage to your enemies. And yes, you have enemies, you just don't know it yet. Machiavelli warned that men are quick to change their nature when they believe it serves them. Translation? People you trust today will betray you tomorrow if the incentive is right. Not because they're evil, because they're human. Your wealth is only as secure as your silence. Delete financial updates from social media. Stop telling people about raises, investments, or plans. The more invisible your money, the more invincible it becomes. Look at how billionaires move. Zuckerberg's wealth is public because he has to report it, but his strategies are private. His next moves are secret. Bezos announces nothing until it's done. The Walton family operates through layers of trusts, LLCs, and lawyers so complex that even investigators can't track their full wealth. They understand that loose lips sink fortunes. Every post is a data point. Every flex is a vulnerability. Every story about your success is intelligence you're handing to competitors for free. If people know what you have, they know what to take. If they know what you want, they know how to manipulate you. If they know your strategy, they can copy it or sabotage it. Silence isn't secrecy. It's strategy. Think about it like this. You're building a castle. Every time you post about it, you're showing enemies where the walls are weak, where the gates are located, how many guards you have. You're giving away your defensive positions for the dopamine hit of likes and comments. The protocol here is clear. Build in the dark. Emerge when untouchable. But let me be specific because I know what you're thinking. What about networking? What about building relationships? What about showing credibility? Here's the distinction. Share value, never share status. Share knowledge, never share numbers. You can teach people how you think without telling them what you have. You can build relationships without announcing your wins. The most powerful people I know have almost no social media presence. They're ghosts, and that's precisely why they're powerful. Now I need you to understand something. So far we've covered defense, camouflage, velocity, silence. These principles protect what you have and ensure it grows efficiently. But defense alone doesn't build empires. Now we shift to offense. The next 4 laws are about multiplication. How to turn a single stream of income into a river system that no drought can dry up. This is where most people fail. They protect what they have, but never expand it. They save diligently, invest wisely, and then they just stop. They hit a ceiling and call it success. But the protocol doesn't recognize ceilings. It only recognizes expansion. Let's fix that. Imagine a castle with one entrance. Easy to build, easy to guard. You can station all your soldiers at that single gate and feel secure. But here's the problem. The moment that gate falls, the kingdom dies. One attack, one failure, one lost job, and everything collapses. Now imagine a castle with 7 gates, each leading to a different territory, each defended by a different army, each generating its own resources. That's the difference between a job and a wealth system. One income stream is a vulnerability. 7 is sovereignty. Machiavelli advised princes to control multiple territories because dependence on one makes you a slave to circumstance. The same applies to money. Your job is not your security. It's your starting point. It's the first territory you control. But if it's the only territory, you're one recession, one layoff, one industry disruption away from collapse. Here's the framework. Income stream 1, your primary job. Active income. This is your base. This funds everything else. Stream 2, side consulting using skills you already have. You're not learning new skills. You're monetizing existing ones. Stream 3, digital assets. Courses, templates, tools, content that generates income after the work is done. Stream 4, index funds. Automated passive growth. This is where your deployed capital lives. Stream 5, real estate. Rental income, property appreciation, tax advantages. Stream 6, royalties from books, content, intellectual property. Stream 7, small business equity through angel investing or partnerships. You don't need all 7 tomorrow, but you need to be building toward multiple. Each one takes time, each one requires focus, but each one is a fortress that makes you harder to conquer. Start with 1 additional stream this quarter. Not next year, not when you have more time. This quarter, pick the lowest friction option. If you're a designer, freelance design on weekends. If you're a writer, create a digital product in your niche. If you have capital, buy fractional real estate through platforms like Fundrise or REITs. Each stream is a fortress. Each fortress makes you harder to conquer. And here's the magic. Once you have 3 or 4 streams flowing, you stop worrying about any single one failing. Because even if one dries up, the others keep flowing. That's not just financial security, that's psychological freedom. And that leads directly into the 5th law, which is about protection. Because here's what nobody tells you. The more wealth you accumulate, the bigger target you become. Pop quiz. If someone sued you tomorrow, could they take everything you own? If your name is on the deed, the car title, the bank account, yes, they can. That's not wealth. That's exposure. That's vulnerability disguised as ownership. The rich don't own things. Entities do. Machiavelli understood that power must be layered, protected, obscured. Kings didn't hold land in their own names. They distributed it among nobles, churches, and corporations. Why? Because distributed power is harder to attack. Modern translation: LLCs, trusts, and corporate veils. Here's how it works. Real estate? Each property goes in a separate LLC. If someone slips and falls in property A, they can sue LLC A, but they can't touch property B, C, or D because those are separate entities. Business income flows through an S Corp or LLC for tax optimization and liability protection. Investments held in trusts that shield assets from lawsuits, creditors, and taxes. The Rockefellers pioneered this. They created over 100 trusts to distribute their oil fortune. The Waltons perfected it. Walmart's founding family has wealth spread across so many entities that even Forbes can't calculate their true net worth. You can start this today. You don't need a $10,000 lawyer. You don't need offshore accounts. Start simple. Form a basic LLC for your side business. Costs between $100 and $300 depending on your state. Open a high-yield savings account under a business name. Create separation between personal and business assets. The goal isn't complexity, it's containment. If one thing fails, the rest stands. If one lawsuit hits, it can't spread. Structure is the armor of wealth. And the beautiful part? Most people never think about this until it's too late. They build everything under their personal name, and then one accident, one lawsuit, one mistake wipes them out. Don't be most people. Now, this next law is going to sound counterintuitive, but it's one of the most powerful in the entire protocol. Machiavelli wrote something that scandalized his readers. A prince must learn to be not good, but to appear good. He meant that true power doesn't seek credit, it seeks results. The prince who gives publicly becomes a target. The prince who gives privately becomes a legend. Give strategically, give silently, give without receipt. The loudest philanthropists aren't the most generous, they're the most insecure. Real wealth builds goodwill in shadows. Anonymous donations, private mentorships, help without announcement, money slipped into accounts, opportunities created without credit. Why? Because invisible generosity creates untraceable loyalty. When people know you helped, they feel indebted, and debt breeds resentment. They start to feel obligated. They start to feel controlled. Eventually, they resent you for the very help they once appreciated. But when they don't know who helped them, they attribute their success to luck, to timing, to their own effort, and they remain grateful to the universe, not resentful toward you. This creates something far more valuable than gratitude. It creates mystique. Pick one person this month to help anonymously. Pay for something they need. Introduce them to someone who can change their trajectory. Ghostwrite a recommendation. Send money with no name attached. Don't tell anyone, not even them if possible. This isn't about morality. It's about power dynamics. Silent giving compounds influence without inflating ego. It builds a network of people who succeeded partly because of you, but who don't know it. And that network becomes invisible infrastructure that supports your rise without anyone seeing the connections. The Medici family mastered this. They funded artists, architects, and politicians anonymously. Decades later, when they needed support, all those people stepped forward, not realizing they'd been strategically positioned years earlier. That's the game within the game. And now we arrive at the seventh and final law, the one that separates those who build temporary wealth from those who build dynasties that outlast their own lives. Fortune, Machiavelli said, is like a wheel. It turns, and those who don't adapt get crushed beneath it. Your wealth strategy must evolve faster than the market. What worked in 2020 doesn't work in 2025. Index funds, crypto, real estate, AI tools, global markets, tax laws, regulations. The landscape shifts constantly, and the people who get rich in one era are rarely the same people who stay rich in the next, unless they evolve. The protocol is simple but painful. Allocate 1 hour per day to financial education. Not random YouTube videos, not hype, not get-rich-quick schemes, real education. Read financial statements so you understand how businesses actually make money. Study market analysis so you can spot trends before they're obvious. Read biographies of builders, not celebrities. Learn from people who created wealth, not people who inherited it or got lucky. Follow investors who show portfolios, not just gains. Anyone can screenshot a win. Few people show their full strategy, their losses, their decision-making process. Economists who explain, not predict. If someone's telling you exactly what's going to happen, they're lying. But if they're explaining the forces at play, they're teaching. Operators who build, not talk. The people doing the work, not the people commenting on the work. Warren Buffett reads 5 hours a day. Not because he's bored, not because he's retired, because he knows that knowledge is the only moat that can't be copied. Someone can copy your business model. They can steal your ideas. They can replicate your products. But they can't download your accumulated understanding. Every Sunday, spend 30 minutes reviewing 3 things. What you learned this week, write it down. What you deployed. What actions did you take based on what you learned? What you avoided? What mistakes did you not make because you knew better? This weekly review compounds. After a year, you've done 52 reviews. After 10 years, 520. You start to see patterns that other people miss. You develop intuition that looks like luck, but is actually accumulated wisdom. Evolution isn't optional. It's survival. Let me leave you with this. There's a man worth $12 million who works at the same company you do, same building, same meetings, same coffee machine. He doesn't look different, doesn't act different, doesn't dress different. But every Friday, while everyone else celebrates payday by planning how to spend it, he's planning how to deploy it. Every month, while they're upgrading cars and apartments, he's buying index funds and rental properties. Every year, while they're posting vacation photos and luxury purchases, he's compounding in silence. And in 10 years, when they're still talking about getting rich, still buying courses, still waiting for their break, he'll be untouchable. Not because he's smarter, not because he's luckier, because he followed the protocol: camouflage, velocity, silence, fortresses, structure, goodwill, evolution. These aren't motivational quotes. They're operational commands. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to inspire people. He wrote it to instruct rulers. This is your instruction manual. The invisible fortune isn't a dream, it's a discipline. And it starts the moment you stop performing and start building. The moment you stop seeking validation and start seeking victory. So here's your first move. Don't let this be another video you watch and forget. Pick one law from today, just one. Deploy it this week. Don't announce it. Don't post about it. Don't tell your friends. Just execute. And when you're ready for the next level, the advanced protocols the ultra-wealthy use to stay invisible while multiplying power. The tax strategies they use legally, the international structures, the generational wealth transfers, that's in the next video. Click it, watch it, apply it. Because fortune doesn't reward the loud, she rewards the lethal. She rewards those who move in silence and strike with precision. Welcome to the Machiavelli Protocol. If you're ready to take these strategies beyond theory, check the pinned comment. The link I left there is the next step to becoming truly untouchable.